Welcome to the Nashville Tribute Band podcast, The Listening Room with Jason Deere and most of the Nashville Tribute Band. Coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. Today's topic is a Nashville Tribute Band green room discussion out on the road with Grammy Award-winning mix engineer Silvio Ricchetto. But first, give me some of that good news. This completely cracks me up because I've met this guy. I've seen him both on the street in Manhattan, New York, and I've seen him in the streets in Nashville. I saw this article in the Toronto Sun. One of the enduring sights of New York City's Times Square is the naked cowboy, who dresses only in underpants, boots, and cowboy hat. He charms the tourists that usually throng the area out of a few dollars with a wink and a song. The street performer, his real name is Robert Burke, is putting on a show. Despite the coronavirus-related stay-at-home orders and travel restrictions, that means the usually packed streets are far quieter than usual. Now adding a Stars and Stripes face mask to his outfit. He flexes his biceps for passing cars and plays his guitar. His livelihood has been seriously curtailed, he said. Still, he sees this time as a character-building experience, despite the dearth of tip-giving tourists. Quote, "I've never missed a day and I feel very fortunate just to have my routine and my rituals," Burke told reporters on Friday. And the picture in the paper has got him in his underwear. It says naked cowboy standing in an absolutely desolate Times Square. This guy cracked me up every time I've met him. I'm just so glad that people are still out there doing what they do in the middle of this weird time. More power to you, naked cowboy.
Now that's funny!
Deseret book, let's take a look. One of my favorite people to do events with over the years is Brad Wilcox. Brad is an incredibly positive, upbeat, and brilliant speaker and writer. He has a lot of books that he has written at DeseretBook.com. My daughter, who's serving a mission right now in Norway, absolutely loves him. She took a class at BYU before she left, and she loves his approach, the way he talks to young people, and gives them confidence in the things that they believe. As many of you know, Brad Wilcox is now President Wilcox. At the April 2020 conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, he was just called into the Young Men's General Presidency. He's going to do a great job there. We're excited for him and for the young men of the church. Go to DeseretBook.com and look up the many titles by Brad Wilcox. You'll be glad you did. The official clothier and tailor of the Nashville Tribute Band is the Cater Shop. That's Cater with a K. Catershop.com. If you see the Nashville Tribute Band and we look good, it's all because of the Cater Shop. So today we're sitting, we have part of the Nashville Tribute Band. It's rare that we all get together unless we're doing a show, but today we have Ben Truman.
Hey.
We have Tim Gates.
Yo.
We have Brad Hull.
Hello.
We have Jason Deere. And we have our good buddy who's not with us all that often. We're so glad anytime he is, Silvio Ricchetto. Silvio has mixed all of the Nashville Tribute Band records and 3-time Grammy Award winner. Crazy talented guy.
Well.
And he
Bienvenidos a Miami.
That's right. He's from Brazil but lives in Miami, and he has had a love like none other for this project. And he doesn't just mix these projects for us. He puts TLC and he puts what he said his love for God into these projects, and it makes a difference.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been a part of a lot of other projects that I've been on, and I don't think I'd like to use anybody else.
We don't really like him, but he's good.
Yeah. We like him in the studio.
No choice. No choice.
We've been sitting and talking just kind of about the road and the studio, and particularly about the album Joseph, a Nashville Tribute to the Prophet, and about performing it out on the road for the last, how many years now? 15?
Yeah.
15 years.
Isn't that crazy?
We're still the same age, though.
That's right. Ben and I were talking about it a few minutes ago about when we know this story well. We know what happened in 1820. We know what's happened since. But still, we have moments where each of us individually light up in the middle of performing these songs where we just have different moments that hit us, and we share those things afterwards with each other. And we were laughing about, too, how sometimes one of us doesn't feel one thing in the show. It's just like flat.
That was a terrible show.
I know.
It's like,
the other three guys are like tears running down their faces, you know, and it's like...
Silvio, would you mind telling us a moment that you've had one of those moments in the studio? Because we haven't been in those moments in the studio when you've been mixing and working on these records. I'd love to hear.
And you can share in English, Portuguese, or Spanish, whatever.
Actually,
we won't understand any of it.
Well, if I have to point one moment, I could not, but I can point several different moments in the studio. Number one, the song was Emma. That song kicked me really hard because I was mixing, and like I'm mixing the piano, and then Jason sent me the vocal, and I put the vocal in, and I go, who is this lady? Like, come on, start crying. And I was like, how can a person endure this kind of things, you know? Like, just seeing the story. And I wasn't familiar with the the whole Joseph thing, and then I learned a lot through the songs, and the stories. But Emma was one of those songs that kicked me so hard, like I could not listen even today. Like
That's a good thing, by the way.
Yeah, even today, like when I hear the song, it still kicks me really hard because like it's somebody that was committed, like committed, went through the whole thing and said okay, and then complain one word about it and just go through and see what she endured. I was like, that gives me goosebumps to today.
I had a friend that never heard of her as well, and I let him listen to that song, A Neighbor in Nashville, and he wanted to know all about this woman. But that's how well written the song is, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like the songwriting and all the emotions that it's the simplicity too. Like the piano, all the arrangement, the performance. It's just spot on for, I would say, the story. It's telling the story the way it is. In your face, you like it or not, that's the truth, and this is it. And
that was Mindy Gledhill back in 2004. She sang that, I think?
Yeah. That's right.
So awesome.
Well, we
love you, Mindy.
That's the magic to what this is with music or movies or whatever the media is. If it's done right, and Jason, so many times, man, you've done it so right with these songs.
What times have I done it wrong?
We'll do those off air. But if it's done right, this story of, in this case, Emma, it's absolutely her story, and then it's every single person's story who's listening, and that's where the feelings really start to hit, and that's why I think when we're up there singing these songs sometimes. That's why we're so moved, because we're learning a lesson that's applying immediately to something we're experiencing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful thing, Silvio, that you're sitting there not knowing the story of Emma and being moved by it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was insane.
I'll never forget the phone call. It's like,
it's crying,
bro. Who is this Emma?
That was me.
And to be honest with you, Silvio right now he was raised Catholic in Brazil. He's a believer of everything and whatever, everything good is what he believes in. And he's not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but he knows more about church history than most people that I know. Probably as much as anybody in this band. So.
He's listened to these songs more than anybody I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, Brother, I Follow You, that was a hard one too. When you hear that song, we're like, oh, okay, that guy was committed, like, and endured everything. And it was like the whole album became, for me, a very special thing, because I remember that me and Jason, when we were mixing, and I delivered the whole thing, and I said, I don't know, Jay, it doesn't sound correct. Still doesn't sound the way it needs to sound like. And I redid the whole album.
Oh, wow.
I remixed the whole thing because I was so into it.
Yeah.
I was so into the emotion and the whole thing. Then when I went to my car and I started driving, I said, something is missing and I have to go back to the studio.
Wow.
And I went back and then I called him, was like, oh, I know your deadline is in a couple of days. I know I have to deliver the master, but give me 10 more days. Are you crazy? What are you doing? Like, just give me 10 more days. Just give me 10 more days, because now I understand the whole thing.
How would you like to call Sherry Dew and ask for 10 more days?
It's like Jason, like, oh, seriously? I'm like, Jason, just let me do it.
Yeah.
And
it was the right thing to do, because it sounded completely different when it came out.
Oh, and that's amazing, because you're talking about Emma and you're talking about Hiram in these two songs, and the word you used for both of them was they were so committed.
Yeah, exactly.
And how cool that you upped your commitment level. You wanted to get it right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I was like, those two songs, I was like, I have to put my heart and soul in this project, because like I know a lot of people, they don't know the story and they misjudge, but this is the way to people will actually absorb this information and understand, right, what this church is about, and then what is beautiful story, someone that is searching for the light, and then had, a vision and goes through all this stuff, and it's actually pretty hardcore.
No doubt.
It's like pretty hardcore.
I'd say that's an appropriate word, man.
Yeah.
It is.
I know I'm thankful for your contribution to this.
Thank you.
I was thankful for it the minute I heard it on my mission.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Please subscribe to our podcast, Nashville Tribute Band Listening Room, and please share us with your friends. Tell them about our Instagram, our podcast, and of course, our music. And please visit us on our Facebook page, Nashville Tribute Band, and hit that like button. And please take the opportunity to visit our store at NashvilleTributeBand.com for music and merchandise. We'll see you next week. Be good and do good things. Nashville Tribute Band Listening Room. You've been listening to the Nashville Tribute Band podcast, The Listening Room, with Jason Deere. Make sure and subscribe to our podcast and share it with your friends. Nashville Tribute Band Listening Room. visit NashvilleTributeBand.com for music, information, and so much more. And make sure and enjoy this podcast each and every week.